Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cucamonga Valley Medical Group's Healthy Living webinar. My name is Sabrina, and I am a community health educator. Well, this month's topic is mental health, which is very important to talk about because we hear mental health a lot these days, and it can be confusing to truly understand what is mental health. So for tonight's webinar, I'll be going over what is mental health. That way we can all have a clear understanding of what it is. And then I'm going to share 4 important ways that you can improve your own mental health. So to better understand mental health, we need to define some terms because sometimes we hear these terms being used interchangeably, but they're actually different. And I want to make sure we know the difference. So here we go. The first term that we need to define is going to be mental health. And that also includes positive and poor mental health. So those are both different states of mental health, and we're going to talk about more about that in a second. And then we have mental illness, also called mental disorders. Okay, so we're going to find out the difference of these, and we're really going to get a clear understanding of what we are talking about. So let's go ahead and first start talking about the term mental health. So in many like physical health, right? Everyone has mental health and we need to take care of it, just like our physical health. The CDC defines mental health as mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel, and act. It also helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and make healthy choices. So again, basically mental health, it's your feelings, your thinking, your moods. It influences how you behave in your daily life. So we all have mental health. So it's best to think of mental health as a continuum, So here's a continuum. We can kind of get a visualization of how this can look. So we are all on a continuum of mental health, and many factors can affect how we move on this continuum. Our genetics, our upbringing, our life circumstances, stressors, trauma, maybe something we went through. So a lot can affect how we move on this continuum. So at the top of this continuum, we have states of positive mental health. And that could be feelings of happiness, contentment, fulfilled, you're thriving. And then towards the end of this continuum, there are states of poor mental health. That could be feelings of sadness, having difficulty coping with life, right? Not feeling happy. So again, we are all on this continuum of mental health. Now, I'm sure you have already experienced this continuum, right? Maybe one day you are feeling great. Life was good. The sun is shining. Everything is great. And then maybe a few days later, you wake up and you're not so happy. Things are a little sad. Maybe you're feeling overwhelmed about something, right? So we all go through ups and downs, and we experience both positive and poor mental states. So now let's talk about the term mental illness. So a mental illness is an actual condition that can be diagnosed, okay? And these conditions affect someone's ability to function each day. So this mental state is so severe that you're having a hard time just going about your day. You can't function right, okay? So some conditions could be things like anxiety, depression, bipolar disorder. So there's many conditions that are under a mental illness. Now, there's no single cause for a mental illness. A number of factors can contribute to someone's risk of developing a mental illness. It could be things like adverse life experiences, maybe experiencing an ongoing chronic disease like cancer. There's biological factors, the use of drugs, the feeling of loneliness. So there's a big array of factors that can contribute to developing a mental illness or a mental disorder. So to quickly review, we learned the difference between a mental illness and mental health. Remember, mental health is something we all have, right? And we can experience both poor and positive mental health states. And again, that's because there's things in our life that we cannot control that can affect our mental health, right? Maybe losing your job, going through a pandemic. I know we've all experienced that one recently. Maybe a loss in the family, trauma, right? So there's many factors that can cause us to go into that poor mental state of not feeling our best. So it is very important to know what to do when you are feeling mentally low. Because again, remember, there is going to be times when you're not feeling your best. And it's important to know what to do during that time. So the most important thing you can do if you are experiencing a poor mental state, that is going to be to talk to someone. Talk to someone. So opening up and talking about your mental health is one of the best and the most effective ways to help improve your mental state, right? So when we feel physically unwell, let's say, for example, you have COVID or maybe you have the flu, you're feeling unwell, you let people know, right? You call your partner, you tell your parents, hey, I'm not feeling too well. I think I'm sick. I'm physically unwell. Well, it's the same with mental wellness. If you are feeling not mentally well, let someone know. Let someone know that you are not feeling your best. That way you can really kind of get some support that you might need. And also when we talk to someone, we get a great sense of relief. So just remember, the next time you are feeling a little low, talk to someone, talk to someone. So who should you talk to? And that's going to be different for everyone, but I'll go ahead and share who you could talk to when you are experiencing some mental health problems, right? So number one, it could be, of course, your family. You could always talk to your family, your friends, a professional. So professionals are really effective at helping you navigate any mental health issues. That can be your healthcare provider. That could be a therapist, that can be a psychiatrist. So there is professionals out there that their whole job is to help people navigate with mental health. So that is a great option. Another great option is a support group. Support groups are really great. Lot of great success from people who join support groups. So if you're interested in that, I do recommend to seek some out. If you need an additional resource as to where you can find some of this help and support, this is one of my favorite resources, and it's Mental Health America. You can go ahead and visit this website listed on the screen. This resource is really great because you can find help near your area. So they have a lot of directories and lists where you can find things around you. So support groups around you, depending on the topic of what support you need. So again, this is a great resource if you're trying to find some support and someone to talk to. So go ahead and reach out, find some support for yourself, find someone to talk to. If you find it hard to talk about your mental health, which many people do find hard, you can try writing a letter. You can begin by journaling, maybe starting a journal and just, letting that out as you write. I do want you to keep in mind that talking about mental health does not have to be difficult, because remember, it's something we all have. We all have mental health, so we should all feel free to talk about it with each other. So remember, the next time you're feeling mentally low or experiencing those poor mental states, remember to talk to someone. All right. So, like we learned, there are things that we cannot control that can have a negative effect on our mental health. However, there are things that we do have control over, things we can do to help improve our mental state and also promote a positive mental health. So, being proactive in your mental health. Well, there's plenty of things that you can do to improve your mental health. I'm going to share 4 important ways that you can promote a positive mental state. Now, these 4 things I am going to share are evidence-based, meaning there is research to support why they help and how they help with your mental health. So just keep that in mind. These are evidence-based. It's not just my opinion. These are some very effective ways that you can improve your mental state. The first and the most important thing you can do for your mental health is to take care of your body. So that means taking care of yourself physically. You are physically taking care of your body. And this is the most effective and proactive thing you can do for your mental health. Well, what are some ways that you can take care of yourself physically? What are some ways? What are we thinking? Well, here are the basic and the most important ways you can. Of course, number 1 is to eat a healthy diet. Now, when you eat an unhealthy diet full of processed foods, bad fats, right? Those can take a big toll on your brain and your mood. So it's very important to eat a healthy diet. That's going to improve your mood drastically. And if you guys want some more information on a healthy diet and how to achieve that, what that even means, go ahead and let me know in the comments. I love talking about healthy eating. So if you guys want more information on that, I would love to talk about more about that in the future. So let me know in the comments below. Okay, so eat a healthy diet. Exercise regularly. So when we exercise, there's actually chemicals that are released in our brain that make us feel good, those feel good chemicals. So exercise is very effective at improving mood. So if you're not already doing some regular exercise, I highly encourage you start. And, I always say to everyone in my classes that physical activity and exercise is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. It has physical benefits, it has mental benefits. So it's really, really a great gift that you can start doing for yourself. The next way you can take care of your body is to drink plenty of water. So your brain needs water to function properly. That's why if you are experiencing dehydration, one of the biggest main symptoms of that is going to be you're feeling dizzy, you're feeling lightheaded. And that's because your brain does not have enough water to function properly. So drinking plenty of water throughout the day is a good way to be proactive in your mental health. That way your brain is getting all the fluids it needs so it can function at its best. Then we have to get enough sleep and rest. Now, this one we all know, right? If who skips out on some sleep and wakes up in a great mood? No one, right? If you don't get enough sleep, you wake up and you're probably grumpy. You're not feeling your best. So getting enough sleep is very important for mental health. And that's going to be a good 7 to 8 hours a night of good uninterrupted sleep. And then finally, you want to avoid drugs and alcohol. So when you engage in drugs and alcohol, this can kind of throw off things in the brain, increase stress, anxiety. So you want to make sure you're avoiding those things for your physical and mental health as well. So again, these are all ways that you can be taking care of your body to improve your mental health. Okay, the second important thing that you can be doing for your mental health is to get regular sunlight, to get some sunlight each day. And that's because sunlight is an important source of vitamin D. And vitamin D is very important for our brain. It helps to release those feel-good chemicals like endorphins and serotonin. So to get that daily sunlight, you do always want to keep in mind to keep your skin and eyes safe. You always want to be proactive and make sure you are protecting your skin and your eyes from the sun. But even though there is, of course, we all know the sunlight can cause damage at, extreme exposure, but daily sunlight is going to be really, really great. Our bodies need that. It is a healthy thing to do. So you can do 30 minutes to 2 hours a day of sunlight each day. And, the sunlight is so powerful in, keeping our mood, improving our mood, that during the winter, some people actually go through some types of forms of depression. And this is called seasonal affective disorder. And that's when, we're just experiencing those gloomy days, those long days, right, of just gloominess. The sun's not really out. And that can have a negative effect on our mood. So make sure that you are getting some sunlight each day. And I know a lot of us are indoors most of the day, right? We work indoors, we're in home most of the day. So make an effort to spend some time outside just so you can get that much needed sunlight. And that way you can be proactive in your mental health. The third important thing that you can do for your mental health is to do something you enjoy regularly. If we don't spend any time doing the things we enjoy, we can become irritable and unhappy, right? So try to make time for doing the fun things you enjoy. If you like going for a walk, if you like painting, if you like maybe a specific TV show, just try to set aside some time to enjoy yourself. That's very important for mental health. We always want to make sure we're having a little bit of life balance. We cannot be work, 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 work all the time. We really need to fit in some time to enjoy ourselves, to have hobbies, to do activities where we're expressing our creativity. Those are all very important things that we can do to keep ourselves in that positive mental state. Okay, so the fourth and final thing that you can do is you want to learn to cope. Now, what does that mean? Basically, that means you are learning strategies that you can use when you are going through a hard time. Remember, those hard times are unavoidable sometimes, right? Stress is unavoidable. Life circumstances can change. And if we learn to become resilient during those hard times, we can really keep our mental state staying in that positive zone. Okay, so it's about building resilience. And it might take some time to find the right coping mechanism for yourself. It takes some time and patience, but it can have a great impact on how you feel and your mental health. Some coping mechanisms that are recommended by mental health professionals could be things like deep breathing, mental reframing, also relaxation techniques, mindfulness. So how can you learn to cope? So you can try classes. Therapy is really good. So talking to these professionals that are very educated on these things. Books, you can read some books. YouTube videos, there's a lot of great resource on YouTube, about how to practice deep breathing. So again, just learning how to cope is important for your mental health because it's going to help you to become more resilient in those unavoidable hard times. So let's review those 4 important things that you can be doing for positive mental health. So number 1, to take care of your body. Very important. The most powerful way to promote positive mental health is to take care of your body. So remember to get some daily sunlight. Spending some time outdoors is really great for your mental health. Do something you enjoy regularly. And if you don't have something that you enjoy, then I suggest you go seek something out. Seek something out for yourself. And then learn to cope. So learning to cope when we experience those unavoidable hard times. So these are the important things that you can be doing to promote a positive mental health state. All right. So, lastly, I want to leave us all on one more thing that we can all do, and that is to support each other. Be a supportive person, right? Life is hard. Being a human is hard. So, lend a helping hand, be kind, say something uplifting to someone. That way, we can all promote and foster a positive mental health around us and in our communities. So remember, if you do have any serious concerns about your mental health, please talk to your healthcare provider. And that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this webinar, and I hope to see all of you next month. Thank you so much.